As we progress towards Q3 FY23, one question that's on everybody's mind is, have Indian steel prices bottomed out? Hi, I am Nishtha Mukherjee and with me joining is Nitish Shukul. In this vlog, we shall discuss about the Indian steel prices, the recent drop, the reasons and a near-term outlook.
For this, we need to understand SteelMint's India Composite Steel Index, which has dropped by more than 15% after the Government of India imposed export duty on steel intermediaries and other finished products on 21st May 2022. Longs and flats indices have dipped by more than 10% and 20% respectively. However, the dip in flat index has been quite steep on the back of piling up of inventories in the domestic market post the implementation of export duty by Government of India. In the latest assessment for the week ending 9 September, the Composite Steel Index closed at 150.9 points, with Flat Index at 146.9 points and Longs Index at 154.9 points.
Alright Nitish, so before we proceed further, let's tell our viewers that what is India's Steel Composite Index. The Indian Steel Composite Index is a weekly index which is published on every Friday and is based on the weighted average prices basis the production capacities of both flat and long products. The sub-indices of flat products include HRC, CRC, plate and GP. Similarly, the sub-indices for long steel index includes rebar, wire rod and structures. SteelMint has considered the base year as 2020 and base value as 100 for India's Steel Composite Index. Steel Composite Index doesn't give the absolute market price, but it just indicates the market trend. So let's discuss the factors that have resulted in drop in Indian steel prices.
Sure Nishtha. So the first factor, post the implementation of export duty by Government of India, the Indian steel mills moved to the sidelines and exports took a backseat. In fact, the Indian steel exports from Jan to July 2022 fell by 30% year-on-year. Stalled exports had impacted the domestic prices too, as India's steel exports account for nearly 15 to 20% of the overall steel production. Hence, mills had no option but to opt for maintenance shutdown on the back of sluggish market sentiments.
The second factor is the drop in global seaborne prices. The global steel prices, after hitting record high levels earlier this year, post the Russia-Ukraine trade war, have seen a steep drop. The prices have fallen to over 1.5-year low in July 2022.
Thirdly, both coking coal and iron ore prices started cooling off right from Q1 FY23. Coking coal prices fell from $700 per ton CNF India in March 2022 to around $210 per ton CNF India in August 2022. SteelMint's Odisha's Iron Ore Fines Index fell from 6,400 per ton in March 2022 to around 3,400 per ton in August 2022. So Nishtha, the big question is, have the Indian steel prices bottomed out?
Demand has seen a slight uptick, following which the Indian steel mills have taken a small increase of INR 500 per ton in domestic HRC prices.
Add to this, Europe's energy crisis is at a tipping point. A typical family in European Union could face energy bills of 500 euros, which is up by 200% from 2021. The intensifying energy crisis and consequent inflation in Europe has forced their mills to cut production and hence explore the option of importing billets and finished longs from Southeast Asia.
Very true, Nitish. Similar is the case in Turkey, where energy and natural gas prices have increased sharply. The authorities have raised prices by 20% for households and 50% for industry very recently. Hence it seems that Indian steel prices have largely bottomed out and there is surely a room for recovery from current price level.
For more such content, visit www.steelmint.com and do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.